BOOGOTTINYC. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day this morning. Like I always tell you, you could have went anywhere, but the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. Going over to the website, www.drinkbigdrip.com. Get yourself some merch. 14% alcohol by value. Big taste, big flavor, big punch. Y'all know what it is. Woo! As y'all can see, I'm having a little bit of camera difficulty here, but I'm trying to get it right. I think that's about it right there. So, without any further ado, hope everybody having a fantastic day. Whew, I'm here. Thank y'all for being patient with me. Y'all know it hasn't been an easy journey, but we still continue to do what we do. Uh, Everybody from LA, Miami, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Arizona. Want to give you guys all y'all props over there. Thank y'all. I was looking in the demo. See you guys have been checking in. Make sure I do some news over there to get you guys on board with what's happening out here with us. And making sure that I'm sharing and getting all this information out. Now, we have some real serious situations going on right now that I didn't even think about. I told you the other day, I thought that this guy was actually doing all of this stuff on his own. And he was, but in reality, he wasn't. Did you know that he was using meta glasses to do this? Yes, FBI, the killer, wore meta glasses to plan the hit. This guy, Shamsud-din Jabar, used meta glasses to plan out the area in New Orleans of where he wanted to attack. Not only that, but he left like a manifesto and certain things that he said, and it was like he contemplated harming his members of his own family. He wanted to do something bigger, but he was going to hurt his own family, but he said, you know what? I'm not even going to do that because I want to do something bigger. Then he steered his focus on the war between the believers and non-believers. Those are the new details that came out on this guy. Then we got drones that locate narco tunnels in Yuma, Arizona. Literally, now they're using the drones to find the tunnels and stuff like that. You guys are going to be surprised when you see the technology that the Border Patrol has to face with the cartel. You got to realize the cartel is like the fifth richest entities in the United States with all the drugs going on. So they actually have the technology to fight back against Border Patrol. Then we got President Biden, who's facing new scrutiny after the New Orleans attack. I don't think he's been down there yet. A lot of people are saying things like, where is he at? You know, he's saying that he's going to be down there by Friday. Probably last week he went down or whatever, but we'll see. We're checking into that. But without any further ado, I want to get right into this right here because can you believe that there's actually footage of this guy, Shahad bin Adin or whatever like that, using meta glasses. Using meta glasses. This is him right here. Checking the meta glasses out before he went out and cased the area that he actually wanted to hit. He put all of these videos up, and as he was actually moving to go do the craziness, he made a manifesto. He was posting up to Facebook, and he was also telling people, like, it's going down. And it's sad because they're saying that they didn't have time, you know, within the time that he was putting up these posts to find them and locate where he was at. So that's why he was able to do the terrible act that he was able to do. But yes, as you guys can see right here, he's got on the meta glasses right here. And he basically gets on a bicycle and he rides through the area to try to find the weak points possibly of where he could attack. So where he can come back later and do what he do. Remember, he's in the army. He knows strategy. So now he's planning and he's on the land days before this happened, what he was planning on doing. And using technology like meta glasses to do it. And apps like Turo to get the vehicles, similar to the same thing that the guy in Los Angeles, the one that let off the bomb in the Cybertruck. They both got the cars off of Turo, a rideshare app. So this is him right here. This is him riding around the neighborhoods. This is him casing the areas in which he wanted to do whatever he was planning on doing, and which turned out to be one of the most tragic events of the top of 2025. Yeah, this is him right here, casing the whole area, what he's planning on doing. Then he stops, goes over there, watches people and everything. You see this right here? And this is him using meta glasses right here. Yeah, metaverse, real talk. He's using meta glasses. I don't know if he's doing like a geographical layout, if he's like trying to do something where he's getting like, I don't know what he's doing, but he used meta glasses to do this. And this seems like the same street that he drove down when he was shooting at the police too. So this is the same route right here. The same route that he took. From the beginning, him in the mirror, planning what he was doing. And it looked like he was like in a regular apartment somewhere in maybe an Airbnb or something like that. It looked like this is like maybe an Airbnb of where he could have possibly been staying at. And like just a sleeper. Nobody knew what he was up to the whole time. So he just planned on doing this. This is what his idea of sending a message was. Harming the people that are just coming out to simply celebrate, the festivities for the new year. Just tragedy. And yeah, look. Using meta glasses to do this. People are out enjoying themselves. You've seen people down there dancing, not even expecting or suspecting that something like this could possibly even happen to them. What do you guys think about this? I mean, he's using like technology that we have available to us to do a crazy crime like this. Crazy, up on the sidewalk, just amongst the people. Nobody knows that he's a threat, but just, floating through. And days later, terrible tragedy of a crime that he committed against people in New Orleans. And actually people that went there to celebrate, because there's people that go from all over the world that go to, to go to New Orleans to like celebrate Mardi Gras. They go to New Orleans to celebrate like a whole bunch of different stuff, like just to get the feel of like, family, nostalgia, just to get the New Orleans feeling. But he had a different feeling and a different plan with what he was putting together. So it's terrible event that happened. Hope you guys are not like, taking it that bad, and hope anybody that's here, none of your family has been affected by this. If so, our thoughts and our prayers go out to you on this tragic situation. We also have, in other news, I was hoping that I wasn't going to go long today. I'm saying to myself, oh my God, like 6-piece, maybe 4-piece. No, because there's so much going on. And especially with our youth and our adolescents and people that are just not thinking and that are just striking out and just doing what the HELL hockey sticks they feel like they want to do. Jose, what's up, Jose? How you doing there? We got this man that was accused of killing a 4-month-old child. He appeared in court for sentencing, and he's only 23 years old. A 4-month-old child. I want you guys to take real close look at this, because the same thing that happened the other day. We have a situation where we had a mailman get stabbed and killed inside of a grocery store going to get a sandwich by a 24-year-old who we all knew was a man. Now we got a 23-year-old. And then the other day we had a 22-year-old that shot and paralyzed the bail bondsman. Oh, man. It's going down. People be careful out there, and just really, really, if you don't really got to be out there, just don't. But then again, you can't avoid evil and things like this that happen. You just can't. But I guess you can, because you just got to have more wherewithal and resolve about who you trust around to be around. But this here situation, guys, I got to be honest with you. It's ridiculous. Check this out.
A 4-month-old baby and his mother in Hartford before running off to Puerto Rico faced a Connecticut judge today.
Lance Morales is charged with the most serious crime under Connecticut law. Your chief investigative reporter, Sam Smink, was inside the courtroom as things got very heated. She joins us live now with more on this story. Sam.
The family of the victims was inside the courtroom as well. As Morales was being led out of the courtroom, they began yelling at him. As Lance Morales was led out of the courtroom, the family of 20-year-old Josiah Mercado and her 4-month-old son Messiah Diaz had some words for him, told to quiet down by the judge. The 23-year-old is accused of killing the two in November, following a dispute over a car. Police say after committing the crime, Morales fled to Puerto Rico. U.S. Marshals captured him days later, bringing him back to Connecticut last week.
This defendant has proven that.
And the thing about him, you can almost tell. He got the tattoos on his face, but everybody does nowadays, right? This is a 23-year-old, might as well say man. His crimes and the stuff that he's done would send, I'm talking about, they send a bomb, fireworks around your head. You would not believe the amount of crimes that this man has committed. Not only that, he's already in jail. So I'm trying to figure out how are they able to commit so much crimes on top of crimes on top of crimes for something like this to be able to happen in the first place? The lawyer looked like she's fed up with him. Like she's like, come on.
Marshals captured him days later, bringing him back to Connecticut last week.
This defendant has proven that he is not able to be assured presence in the court.
This is not Morales' first time in a courtroom. He currently has 5 other cases pending in Waterbury.
One is a violation of probation stemming from an assault 1 conviction where he owes 7 years. The other cases are reckless driving, sale, criminal mischief, tampering with evidence, interfering.
As well as 2 convictions where he served around 3 years in prison.
Other convictions for escape in the first degree and violation of protective order.
The state asked the judge to take all of the above in account when setting bond. But first they asked the judge not to even consider an amount, saying Morales did not have the right to bond because he is charged with the most serious offense under Connecticut law, murder with special circumstances. The charge carries a mandatory life prison sentence without the possibility of release. The judge ultimately set a bond.
I am setting a bond of $5 million cash or surety.
As Morales watched on, biting his lip.
The victim's family said they did not want to speak to cameras today because they are not yet ready. Now, as for Morales, he will be back in court on January 8th to face these charges. On the other pending cases, he will be in Waterbury Court around February 26th. Reporting in Hartford, your chief investigative reporter, Sam Smink.
Already committed to having to do 7 years on another crime. He's now accused of killing a mother and her 4-month-old. Like, we pray that the family, gets some sort of justice in this, because this isn't justice. This guy here, him right there, that's not just what he did. It's just not. That's what it's not. It's just not. That's what it's not. Also, we got U.S. officials that uncovered a drone. Yes, narco drone. That's a tunnel near Yuma, Arizona. It's possibly people smuggled through there as well. And this is going on right up under our noses. And it's not like a new thing. This is not something new that nobody knew about and it just happened out of nowhere. No, people already know about these undercover tunnels and things like that. I had to cut to a certain part because I didn't want to deal with all of the intro and everything, but I just wanted you guys to get an idea of what these, cartels are capable of doing, and how detailed, how the Border Patrol, how the U.S. government has a real force to reckon with when it comes down to the cartels. In one of my clips before, I said, who would win? Who do you guys think would win? Delta Force or the cartels? And you got to understand that a lot of these people, it's not too much of a line between good and bad. There's a very thin line between good and bad, because these are the same people that operate on both sides. You'll understand what I'm talking about right here. Check this out.
Maybe the Mexican authorities realizing that they're going to have to start actually participating in securing the border?
Well, we've had good cooperation with Mexican authorities on tactical issues. What happens is when you want to get to strategic issues, or when you want to get to very high level against the Mexican cartels, that collaboration tends to break down, particularly under the most recent government. But there's a new government in Mexico and there's a new president of the United States, so I'm hoping that cooperation could enhance. But as far as the tunnels, we have this refrain in the military. We say amateurs talk strategy, but professionals talk logistics. And what you see on the border is some of the most advanced logistical networks that are that the cartels build because they're powered by massive amounts of money. I mean, you have the global drug industry that's $360 billion, the human trafficking industry that's $240 billion. I mean, the amount of money that's being poured into these illicit enterprises is giving them all the best technologies to go around law enforcement. So this is going to be a major challenge, I think, for both the Mexican government and the new Trump administration. And they need to focus on this logistics because it's the logistics that powers it. Just like it does in a war, the supply lines power the militaries. In this case, the logistics power the cartels and allows them to do all the stuff that they do.
Joseph, I want to look you to consider this. So this has just come out
that means if you shut down the ways for them to get money in and out, then you'll shut them down. You have to shut down the logistics in order to shut down the operations of what's going on. But come on, you think you're going to be able to shut down the cartel's logistics where they're not able to do what they're doing? They've got too many people and they're paying a lot of people, even Border Patrol, they're paying them.
This is a new stat. Violent drug cartels are now Mexico's 5th largest employer. They're operating right along the southern border, but also inside of Mexico. I've been concerned for a long time, as you know, Joseph, we've been having these conversations for a while, that the open border and the enrichment and empowering of these cartels would turn Mexico into a narco state. Is that where we're at right now? If they're the 5th largest employer, that's insane.
No, that's 100% the direction that Mexico's going. This is a tremendous concern. We cannot afford for Mexico to become a Venezuela. It's our neighbor, it's our trade partner, and we share a very long border. And what happens, and this is the biggest concern, especially on these border towns, is, as you know...
I want you guys to see this. I understand what he's saying about the border towns, but I need you guys to understand. FEMSA, Walmart makes $231 billion. Manpower, $203 billion. America Mobile, $181 billion. The cartels, they make $175 billion.
Rachel, like, if an enterprise doesn't stop just because you stop governing. So basically, at any given moment, society has two enterprises, right? A free enterprise that we're all involved in, and then an illegal, an illicit enterprise. And when the illicit
I'm sorry, not dollars. Those are the top employers in Mexico. I gotta fix that. It says top employers, not the money. So this is the top employers in Mexico. FEMSA, Walmart, Manpower, American Mobile, and then the cartels. All right, that makes more sense. 175,000 people, because it says 1,000 here. Okay, I get it. Are employed by the cartel.
The incentives are driven more towards predation than production. The illicit enterprise takes over the free enterprise. That means it becomes rentable. One day you're a truck driver for a multinational, the next day you're a truck driver for a cartel. And that's what's happening on these border towns. The incentives are aligning so that the illicit enterprise is dominating the free enterprise. Why is that? It's because the Mexican government, the Mexican economy has not been boosted up. It's been stifled down. That was the big problem with López Obrador's policies. His policies of nationalizing the oil industry, of going after the private sector.
That's why when you go to certain countries, certain things are not looked upon as illegal because they got to do what they got to do to get money. A lot of third world countries, when you see like people doing stuff like sex and stuff like that, they look at it as wrong. They know it's wrong, but they got to do so much to get money that it's not looked at as hard as we do. And that's what he means right here, where it's like it has to be acceptable at some point if the money is not there for people to live. So some part of that they actually accept. So they use the money for that.
Was pushing more and more the incentives towards the cartels, and they were taking over these towns. And not to mention our open border. Open border basically just gave all the money, all the incentives into the illicit enterprise, and that's why we have the problem that we have today.
Yeah, Joseph, many Americans don't understand that in many towns, the cartel is the police for that town. Yeah. They are the...
Yep, cartel is the police. And that's why if you make it out, the cartel tells you what to do. And if your family is stuck, again, I keep on saying this, if your family members are still stuck back in those countries, the cartel is telling you to go to the U.S., yes, make money and send it back over to us. Because if you don't, your family member, Joselito, it's not going to have a good night. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Lizzie, Tatum, hi, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. God bless you and your family. Lizzie, thank you for the nice, kind and beautiful blessing. I'm going to take that and I'm going to hold it close and dear to my heart. And I'm going to ask you to go ahead and hit that like button if you appreciate the content that you're getting right now. And let's keep it moving. Because I want to tell you, Lizzie, about this dumb madman that was arrested. He was accused of stabbing people on the train. We were planning on going out there and getting him ourselves because he looked so frail and so stupid, and he was only preying on the weak and people that he could take advantage of. He's lucky that he didn't get caught. Watch this, Lizzie. Because again, we have to be careful about being vigilant, and we have to be careful about, putting our hands on people, because we'll wind up getting locked up trying to defend ourselves, especially living in a sanctuary state like mine, New York City. So I'm glad that the police were actually able to ascertain and get this guy. They were finally able to able to get him. Jamar Banks, accused of 2 train stabbings. He's seen being escorted out of the NYPD's Transit 2. And look at him, like listen to this. Just some frail punk that, come on. Just some.
Why'd you do it, Jamar?
Frail punk.
You have anything to say to the victims, Jamar?
Like, look at him. And these are the people, I want to talk to you guys about this. These are the crazy people, the people that be acting crazy on the train. Making all them faces and stuff. And then, they come through the train and they be having, no disrespect, but, white people and ladies, they get them scared, right? I ain't even going to hold you. I used to be like this. Do that to me. Matter of fact, get out the car. Get up out of here. Yeah, but see, now you might get pow or still snap. So now it's like majority of the people be like, I could beat him, I could take him, but if I do and I beat him up, I'm gonna get locked up because I live in a sanctuary city where if you win, you lose. I mean, he can't even hold his pants up. Literally, his pants can't even hold up. You mean to tell me that anybody on this live right now don't think that you could take this old man without a knife? I'm serious. I want y'all to see this man. I would whoop him so bad. I'm talking about just knowing what he did. It would be a crime. I would need to be arrested. And not only that, but I would hurt myself because the way I would put the beating on him, I would hurt my fist. But he would definitely catch it. Because there's nowhere in the world I'm going to let some lame like this stab my mom or my aunt or a lady or a kid or something like that. He's a fool that needs to be dealt with. I guarantee you beat the brakes off of him, a lot of other people going to be like, yo, they beating the brakes off of people now. We ain't doing all that.
Why'd you do it, Jamar?
Bah,
Anything
right
to say to the
there.
victims, Jamar?
And then up against this, see, that's what I'm saying. I would have whooped him bad. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Clear the steps.
Allegedly, I'm just making it all up. I'm sorry.
Why'd you do it, Jamar?
Look, Jamal. Now, why somebody can't just come off the top of the steps, ask them to move to the side, and just catch them with the, oh, you can, right down the steps. Oh, yeah, like, straight up. Give it to him, straight up.
What's that, sir?
Boop, right around the corner.
Why'd
Give
you
him
do
a couple of 2 pieces.
You have anything to say to the victims, sir?
Nothing to say to nobody.
Back up, come on, guys.
And where they bringing them from? The train station. I looked at it like this. He knew what he did. He already did it a few times. He went back in the train station again because he didn't care. And another thing, if he crazy, that's fine. Because crazy need to meet crazy. Whoop his behind. I hope when you go inside, yo, I hope you catch it. I really do. I hope he catch it.
Anything?
How many other people in the comments think that he should catch it? Is it all me by myself and am I tripping? But he stabbed some ladies and he wilded out. I think he needs to be made example of. Why not? Why not? Am I wrong?
Say it all, Jamar. Guys, take a step back from the car. Guys, back up.
And in a sanctuary city, he goes in, judge looks at his beard. Oh, he's an old man. Oh, whatever. Let's give him 2 to 3, something like that. And then he's right back on the streets again. He's right back on the streets again because of where we live. So, again, what are we doing here, people? What are we doing? We got governors that's weak. We got the president that don't know his A from his elbow. We got a commissioner that's lost. And we still out here, you and me, in all these states just trying to make it. All right, what else we got? We got Joe Biden get screamed at for not responding to New Orleans. Also, a lot of people are scrutinizing the current president because he's not doing anything, if you think about it. I mean, it's so boring to even watch this fool. It's like, I want to run through this so fast. Of course he's not doing anything. He's pardoning people. He's getting his son out. He's padding everything so that people that actually rob something can not get their day in court that they should get. I think this is definitely one of the worst presidents that we've ever had in our day and time and in my lifetime. And he's under scrutiny right now for basically, not following up on the New Orleans attack and just being just a dunce.
Domestic terrorism from white supremacists.
So what he's been saying the whole time is it's always been white supremacists, white supremacists, white supremacists, no domestic terrorists. Well, guess what? Everybody don't think the same way, Joe.
Domestic terrorism from white supremacists is the most lethal terrorist threat in the homeland. The most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy.
President Biden's longtime claims under new scrutiny in the wake of that horrific New Orleans attack. As critics argue, the president has downplayed the ISIS threat and put an outsized focus on white supremacy concerns. Joining me now, Washington Congressman Adam Smith. Thank you very much, Congressman, for being here this morning.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate the chance.
Thank you. So, sir, throughout his presidency, Biden believed that white supremacy was the greatest threat to the homeland. But 2 months before those last remarks that you just heard, the U.S. intelligence community released its annual threat assessment report. It painted a much different picture. The document mentions Russia 98 times, China 93 times, Iran 46 times, North Korea 25 times. There were 15...
I just have to stop it right here because it just shows you how unconnected with his own world Biden is. See that right there? White supremacy. 1. Everything else. North Korea, 25. Iran, 46. China, 93. Russia, 98. Racially motivated violent extremists is 15. The lowest thing on the board is white supremacy. And that's what he was pushing. Why? Because he's trying to sell the January 16th and trying to make everybody go against Trump because that was their only thing.
Mentions of racially motivated violent extremism, but white supremacy was mentioned only once. Did President Biden have his priorities wrong?
No, I mean, that was President Biden's intelligence community that issued that report. Whatever couple of clips you may have picked of what the president said, I think the emphasis of his Justice Department, of his intelligence community, of his Homeland Security Department was always on precisely what that report you just read said it was. It understood the broad threat environment that we face and did its best to try to confront that threat environment.
Well, the FBI told Congress that the suspect in the New Orleans attack, Shamsud-din Jabar, was not on their radar. They didn't have any intelligence on him. He was not someone that they were watching. Do you believe at all that the president's belief that white supremacy is the greatest threat to the homeland impacted directives that were sent down to federal agencies?
I mean, look, this was an individual, okay, who had no links, no public links to ISIS. He was radicalized just in the space of the last 9 months, primarily by stuff that had happened in his
9 months is a long time.
Right, so, but he wasn't publishing, didn't join a group. Look, I don't believe this at all. Look, there was a terrorist attack when Trump was president by a radicalized Islamic terrorist in Florida at a military base. Okay, do I believe that Trump wasn't paying attention? No. What I hope this makes clear to the incoming Trump administration is the depth of the threats that we face from a variety of different radical organizations.
And why? Because the border now is weak and all of these people been let in, and then now you're getting these people that's peed off because of what's going on with the government. Most of these guys, like this guy right here, was an ex-army. He was in the army. He was in the military is what I'm trying to say. He understands what's going on with tactical. He understands a little bit more in depth about what's going on as far as like in the government. It was peed off, and it was something that basically triggered him. What was it? He said it right there. He wanted to basically harm members of his own family. He wanted to do something bigger. He wanted to steer his focus on the war between the believers and the disbelievers. He had his own mission there. And there's other people that were radicalized that follow the same stuff, just like the other guy that did the Cybertruck attack. So you can't just think one way when it comes down to stuff like this. You know, we also got another situation here because it just don't stop. I don't know what people was doing over the weekend, but this holiday leading into the new year and this weekend has just been crazy. What we got over here, y'all? I'm watching you from the Cayman Islands. I live here, but I'm from Honduras. Lizzie, you're in Honduras. You're from Honduras. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing, everybody? All right, cool. Sadly, I've got more news, and it's not good news. What we got here was a provider, a family man. He's from New York City, the same place that I'm from. But he wanted to move, so he moved to Atlanta to get a job as a bus driver. And sadly, 2 days ago, he lost his life because he got stabbed in his chest by somebody over $2.50. This again goes back to people's attitudes and how they're not thinking before they do stuff, and how ultimately many people suffer after things like this happen.
Family of Leroy Ramos, a bus driver from MARTA who was killed at work on Friday night. Atlanta News First Bridget Spencer is live from the Decatur station where that happened, and friends and family gathered there for a vigil tonight. Bridget, I'm sure that was very emotional.
It was, Chelsea, and this whole situation, it was just an absolute tragedy. The shooting happened on Friday night, right about where that bus is situated right there, and that's where there's a memorial set up for Leroy. His family and friends talked highly of him today and says he was a provider and a hard worker.
My nephew just said, "Where's Daddy? All of these people out here, where's Daddy? You know, where's he at?"
The family of 47-year-old Leroy Ramos is now left with a huge void in their hearts.
He was a great husband. He was a great man. He just wanted to be a provider, come home.
Police say someone shot Ramos over a $2.50 fare on the sidewalk at the Decatur station Friday night. Police are still searching for the gunman, but did arrest 2 others the same night.
It was a senseless killing. There was no regard for human life.
On Sunday, family, friends, and co-workers gathered where he was killed to reflect on his life.
He was a great cook.
So his kids are asking about him. Where's everybody's out there enjoying the time, right? And the kids don't know no better. So they're like, where's Daddy at? Every time we do something like that, Daddy's here. And sadly, they'll never see their dad again because of senseless act of violence over $2.50.
He liked laughing. He loved his people. Definitely loved his wife.
Great guy. Always funny.
Ramos had just moved to Atlanta from New York and had begun working for MARTA in October.
Just a guy making a transition, making a move to better the quality of life for himself and his family.
The Amalgamated Transit Union, where Ramos was a member, is supporting the family.
It's just like the bus driver. The post office worker. Just a regular post office worker. He gets in an argument over a sandwich at a store and his life is no more. We gotta really appreciate life much more than we do now, people.
Demanding better protection for drivers. Some of those requests include more transit police presence and better driver shields.
I'm asking MARTA to kind of step up, make this priority so that, safety, our operators, our employees feel safe.
This could have been you. This could have been anybody just going to work.
And MARTA says it will continue working with the union to make sure drivers are safe. The family has started a fundraiser supporting their cause in ending gun violence. We're sharing.
Oh, this is terrible. And it's just senseless, constant senseless crap going on all over the world. And we don't value life, but hopefully some of us do. Hopefully some of us do. And the ones that do, we need to outnumber the ones that don't. We got this other clip, but the Cybertruck where it explodes. There's more information from the Arizona bomber, the man that was from Arizona that drove to Los Angeles and blew up and ignited a Cybertruck in the front of Trump Tower. Yeah, right here. We got more in-depth information on this because it's an AZ, Arizona, it's Fox 10 Phoenix, and they basically have much more in-depth information on who this person was and what he basically did. Let's go.
And drove away. Workers say the dog attempted to chase her car and then was nearly hit by another vehicle, so they were finally able to capture the puppy hours later.
We're learning more about the suspect who parked a Tesla Cybertruck outside of the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas before it exploded on New Year's Day.
Officials say he was an active duty military service member who lived in Colorado and was born here in Arizona. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has more.
A massive explosion on New Year's Day outside the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas. The bed of that Cybertruck was loaded with gas containers and fireworks. Investigators now believe the man inside the car was Matthew Livelsberger, an Army Green Beret who was on leave from duty overseas.
The individual had sustained a gunshot wound to the head prior to the detonation of the vehicle.
Las Vegas police showed new evidence like photo IDs belonging to Livelsberger, and there were also 2 guns in the car bought legally by Livelsberger Monday.
Looking into exactly what the motivation is remains our #1 priority.
Police have mapped out the trip the truck made from Colorado and have photos of the suspect along the way.
We still have only ever seen him in this vehicle, and we're not aware of any other subjects involved in this particular case.
The FBI searched a home connected to the suspect in Colorado Springs. Investigators say the truck was rented in Denver using the Turo app. That's the same app used by New Orleans terrorist suspect Shamsud-din Jabar.
So that's what I wanted to talk about. Now, Turo. Now we got both of these vehicles, this Cybertruck right here before it blew up, and Shamsud-din Jabar. Now I can say your name because I heard it so many times. Shamsud-din Jabar. Both of the trucks, the white one that he had and this one right here, was all rented off the same app, Turo.
Truck was rented in Denver using the Turo app. That's the same app used by New Orleans terrorist suspect Shamsud-din Jabar, who drove a rented truck into a crowd on Bourbon Street hours earlier. Jabar also spent time in the Army, but the FBI says right now there is...
And not only did he spend time in the Army, both of them were in Fort Bragg. Both of them.
No definitive link between the 2 situations, and both men acted alone.
If these turn out to be simply similarities, very strange similarities to have, and so
exactly.
We're not prepared to rule in or rule out anything at this point.
Police say both Jabar and Livelsberger served at Fort Liberty, formerly Fort Bragg, but did not overlap.
New tonight, a home robbery in Surprise has one family.
Yeah, okay. So just because they duties didn't overlap doesn't mean that they weren't recruited and radicalized by the same network of people. You got to go deep, and I understand that they don't want to, we don't want to implicate our own military and stuff like that. But with great power comes great responsibility. And we have to understand that in any form or any business or any practice, there could be some sort of corruption or misstep of power or breach of information. So with that being said, you guys, that's the end of our show today. It's your boy BOOGOTTINYC, and like I always tell you, you could have went anywhere. But the fact that matter that you came to chill with me, I appreciate you. Go on over to the website, www.drinkbigdrip.com. Get yourself some merch. I got on the puff print today. It's lifting off the shirt. Y'all see that? 1 1/3 lifts off the shirt. Like I always tell you, you could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. So till tomorrow, get 'em! 1.